Hey BookTube, it's Jen. I'm back today with a very long anticipated, I personally anticipated it. I've been meaning to make this for like a long time. So we're just gonna roll with it. It's a collective summer wrap up. I didn't read that many books this summer like I'd hoped to. I just kept choosing Netflix over reading, which is terrible, but it's true. But I did finish 6 books. Oh my god, that's how much some people read in a month. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about them because I enjoyed them immensely, some of them. Also, sorry about the reflections from my lights. A, I live in the basement, it's dark. B, I'm out of contacts, so we're just going to have to deal. Alright, let's get into it. So the first book I read, and this is starting way back in June, and that's when I put up my first ever TBR, and I think it was my first ever BookTube video. Again, I become addicted, so I've been trying to put more out. I don't think I've done a very good job. Okay, anyway, I read The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This book I flew through. I loved it. It was written so well. It really sucked you in the beginning. I will say there's a little part in the middle where it gets kind of dull, but then it like picks right back up again. It really reminded me of Gone Girl, which I just read in March. So it was a lot along those lines, like a woman goes missing. They're trying to figure out what happened. Was it her husband, her lover? I should have said spoilers, but you know, I think it says that on the book. But yeah, this is really good. I heard they're making it into a movie, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm a big fan of books being made into movies. So yeah, I would give this, 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really liked it. I would suggest it to anybody. It's awesome. And then in June, this is where my reading, I read that book really fast, and then I picked up this book, The Monuments Men by Robert M. Edsel. And I'm a history person, so I love history books. I knew this was a movie. Obviously, I got the movie cover at Costco a long time ago. And I pulled it out of my TBR, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it. I was really excited for this. I saw a girl do a talk about a year ago, and she was looking for her grandfather's paintings that had been stolen by the Nazis and buried and hidden all over Europe, and it was very similar to this, and she talked about this book, and that's when I picked it up originally. So remembering her story, I thought, oh, this is gonna be really good. This reads like a textbook, which it was good. I hate to say it was bad because it wasn't bad. It was interesting. It was interesting, but it wasn't like a fascinating read. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, they're running from Nazis with Rembrandt paintings. No. It was a lot of details. I kept getting confused. There was like a bunch of guys, and I was like, I don't know who they're talking about, and it's long. It was like 500 pages. No, what is it? 420. It took me forever to finish this book. I didn't love it. I'd give it like 1.5 stars. Again, interesting story and concept, not an interesting read. The movie's pretty good though. I did watch the movie. It's a lot different than the book though. They took very creative liberties with it. Shocker, Hollywood. But yeah, no. And then I needed a read that would pick me right back up. So I was really happy when for my July TBR, I pulled out Uganda Be Kidding Me by Chelsea Handler. I love Chelsea Handler. I think she's hilarious. I love how like blunt she is. Very relatable. Her books are hilarious. I've read all of them. This was her newest one, which I think it came out a long time ago, but I hadn't gotten around to it. And I just loved this. It was so funny. I flew through it pretty much. There's a story of her pooping her pants in a kayak, which had me like in tears in bed one night reading. This was just so good. If you are into any, you know, female, I don't know, what female comedians, like Tina Fey's book, Amy Poehler's book, and you haven't read any Chelsea Handler books, you need to pick them up. They're amazing. I think this is one of my favorites of hers. It's definitely not as good as Are You There, Vodka, It's Me, Chelsea, which I just love that book. I need to reread that book. It's so good. But this one's really good. I really enjoyed it. It's a quick read and it's hilarious. After that, I picked up The Constant Princess by Philippa Gregory. I really liked this book. I love Philippa Gregory. She's one of my favorite authors. I was happy to read another one of her books. There's a lot that I haven't read, so I was happy when I drew this out of my TBR pot. But the beginning, I was like, oh, I don't like this. I should rewind, I should start. It's about Catherine of Aragon, who was Henry VIII's first wife. So it starts with her as a child, which that part was like really boring, and it definitely doesn't like lure you in right away, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be bad. I didn't pick it up for a few days because I was so turned off by the first few chapters, which I hate when that happens. But then it got really good, and this actually has really not that much to do with Henry VIII. It's all in Catherine's perspective, but it's a fake story of how her marriage with Arthur, Henry's brother, who she married first, and then he died. It's about her marriage with Arthur, which no one really knows anything about that because it didn't last that long to begin with, and secondly, it wasn't recorded because it was all covered up so that she could marry Henry. So this was a really, really interesting perspective because I'm a huge Henry Tudor, the Tudor family. I've read a lot about them. I love them. It's my favorite part of history. So this was a part that I'd never obviously heard anything about because it doesn't exist, but it's still nice to get an idea in your mind of what it might have been like. And Philippa does such a good job at that. She did the same thing with Other Boleyn Girls, something that they don't think really happened, they're not sure. She just like takes an idea and runs with it, and I just freaking love her, and I really liked this book. I would give it, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. It was really, really good. Once you get past the initial like beginning, which wasn't great, but then it gets really, really good, and it's kind of told in an interesting way. It's like told in Philippa's writing, and then it like goes to a diary form almost. So that was kind of interesting. I kind of like when books do that. It just breaks things up and makes it easier to read. So 4 out of 5 stars. Also, I forgot to say I would give Chelsea Handler 4 out of 5 stars because this was great too. But yeah, these two were awesome. And then last but not least, every summer, I get so much crap for this from my friends. Every summer, starting on July 31st, being the Harry Potter nerd that I am, I pick up the series and I reread it. Every summer since the 7th book's come out, I've done this. But for some reason, I'm in a reading lull, slag, whatever. I don't even know what you want to call that. Reading slump? Reading slump. And I tend to get into one. I love Harry Potter, but sometimes it's like, I read them every summer. It's kind of repetitive, and this, like my last summer's read, it took me forever to finish them because was I finishing school? I was finishing school last summer. So it took me I didn't even really start. I started on July 31st, but I didn't really start until like October, and it took me till like January to finish them. So I really just read these, but I'm reading them again because I have a problem. My friends are like, put them down, start something different, you have so many books to read. I know, but I can't. It's like breaking with tradition. I have a really hard time breaking with tradition. So I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, obviously first. This is my beloved British copy that my dad brought me from England. I just think they're so beautiful, and I love that some of the wording's different. You know, they call different things, like a sweater, a jumper, or something. I love that. And then I read my Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets. I don't know why I had to look at that. I know the name. And this thing's falling apart on me, but you know, I flew through this one. I think it took me like 2 days. This one took me a little longer, and I'm almost done with the third one. I'm hoping to wrap it up because I have some other books I really want to get to. Anyway, that's what I read. Obviously, the Harry Potters I give 5 out of 5 stars. It's my favorite book series of all time. I don't think there will ever be any change to that. They are the best, obviously. So yeah, that's what I read this summer, June and July and August. Only 6 books. I'm hoping to pick it up better in the fall and get through more books. I have a friend who we're gonna do like reading challenges and stuff. He might even come on this channel, which would be super cool. I'm really excited. I hope he does. Yeah, so keep an eye out for more booktube videos. Let me know down below what your favorite book this summer was that you read. I'm really interested. Always looking for new books to read. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!